Hey guys, Dov here, and today I'm back with another unit highlight. We've got a very unique unit today, so unique it's only found on one sub-faction roster, of course, Shadow Walkers, or Nagarythe. And we've got three of them here against the Tomb Kings. This is Rider of Rohan, once again a patron of mine. Big thanks to him for his support. And he's taken a princess also on the Griffin, which I'm a big fan of, like Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers as well in this matchup. Spearmen, we've got some White Lions to do things to skeletons and constructs, both. Archers with light armor, because why not, have the extra funds, and a Mage Lore of Heavens on the Chariot. I really like this pick for anti-infantry against the Tomb Kings especially. Their squishy skeletons won't be able to do a lot against that. Arrayed against these High Elves is Arkan the Black's Followers of Nagash, which is cool. It's two sub-factions here, and we've got a Tomb Prince over there with some Nehekara Horsemen, a Skeleton Spear, Skeleton Archers, two Bone Giants, and yeah, just lots of skellies. So a lot of value is wrapped up in those two Bone Giants. Arkan the Black here rocking Spear Leech, Fate of Buna, Purple Sun, but this Vanguard of Shadow Walkers. Now, one of the reasons Shadow Walkers, well, you don't see them very much because they're limited to Nagarythe, for one. They do have a few advantages, though. Really nice combat stats. I mean, they are very expensive. This low of melee defense and armor, and no physical resistance means they are pretty squishy for the cost, but okay in combat. 12 bonus versus infantry, 42 attack with poison, and more importantly, poison missiles. Now, they don't do much missile damage, especially considering they only have 45 models, but 5 AP per shot is pretty decent. And in a situation like this, where they're going to remain undetected, and in tandem with the Bolt Throwers work together to take down those Bone Giants, will be very good. And the fact that they have poison on their missiles is pretty massive. That's something now that with the contact effect changes is hugely powerful. I mean, High Elf, these guys were accurate enough before that you weren't likely to hit your own units and poison them, but even now you'll guarantee that you won't. So like in this situation here, the Shadow Walkers, they don't have any friendly targets to shoot at, but the fact they have poison on their missiles means, yeah, these Bone Giants, they're already pretty slow. They're going to get even slower with the poison active, and there's just now no way for them to get away. They are completely trapped here. Shadow Walkers be able to do some okay damage. You can see on the volleys there, it's not super impactful. Again, because there's only 45 models and their lower missile damage, it's really not anything crazy. They get pretty ridiculous in campaign with the Lithnar's buffs, but right here, just working with the Bolt Throwers. Meanwhile, the rest of the skeletons advance. Bone Giants are making their presence felt, trying to countershoot the Bolt Throwers, but honestly, it's not super efficient for them to do that. They have done a lot of damage to the Heaven's Mage as well there, though. It's like probably aiming at her, and just this infantry and stuff has gotten shelled a little bit here. But yeah, these Nehekara Horsemen definitely a little bit late. Wanted to try and come and disrupt this backline sooner. Get these Spearmen into combat, get the Nehekara Horsemen to try and run down these Archers and the Bolt Thrower. As it is, or you could even shoot the Bolt Throwers with the Archers. That would also be very effective, but as it is, I mean, they've done enough damage now, and the Shadow Walkers still have plenty of ammo to finish off these Bone Giants. Definitely can do so. And the poison as well also lowers the missile damage slightly of the Bone Giants. I mean, I guess it's actually a pretty decent amount. What is it, like 20%? At 20%, I believe it's armor piercing both and regular melee and missile damage, which is really nice. In the front line, though, Arkan's making his presence felt. Nice Spirit Leech there on White Lions to just chew away some models. And he's going to move into combat now. If he can get a good counter charge on the Princess on the ground, he'll get an okay engagement, as long as he doesn't take a charge to the face from the Princess. Even then, I mean, 50, 36, let's see, what are Arkan's sustained stats? 40, 50, yeah, I don't know. Probably come down to RNG, to be honest, or who got the better engagement. But at this point, the Princess is a little bit surrounded here. The Curse of the Midnight Wind's going to go off, and sunder the armor. She can pull through her own Spearman there anyway to escape. The Heaven's Mage comes in for some extra blocking, and with the Bone Giants gone, there's nothing to protect these poor, unfortunate souls. I say souls. They're husks. They're literally skeletons. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Tomb Kings Skeletons, I guess they can use bows. They must retain a little bit of their former knowledge, right? That's supposed to require a bit more skill, according to the lore. And it makes sense in real life also. Using a bow is very hard, can confirm. But yeah, these skeleton archers just start crumbling. They get wrecked. The Shadow Warriors are an interesting one. In a matchup especially where you can say that all of their infantry units are, bar like one even, are going to be able to be killed by these guys. That being said, I mean, they still will take damage from skeletons. Like, only 39 melee defense is really not amazing. But that poison missile, that poison melee, being able to clean up skeletons in the late game and using that missile attack to good effect to basically lock units in place. Yeah, it's a nice control tool for the High Elves, and it's something that a lot of people forget that High Elves even have poison missiles in the first place. But they do. It's not a super common pick. Again, you have to bring this faction, but considering how good their generic lords, and especially with archmages now, it's a lot easier to bring this type of a faction. I've speculated in videos and in practices with people in the past about using Plague of Rust. I think I might have casted a game where someone used Plague of Rust as well, plus Shadow Walkers. I think maybe I did that. I don't know. It's been a while. I've casted a lot of games. But you can use, Plague of Rust from the Archmage or even from a regular mage to get it done. Make them do a lot more damage. That's true of all the high elf bows, but these guys in particular, because they're low model count and kind of low missile damage, it's really not super cost effective. Their shots, I mean, we'll kind of compare to some other units later on, but very nicely done by Rider of Rohan. These White Lions ended up cleaning up a lot of kills against the skeletons at the front line as well. They can deal with Tomb Guard just fine. That's why I was saying that Swordmaster is maybe not the best pick in this matchup, but great, kind of balanced. I guess not balanced build. There's no cav here, but still fun build from Rider of Rohan. I like it. Supreme Leader here. Yeah, just ended up kind of misplaying it a little bit. I mean, I think he definitely needed to get his Nekar Horseman in at the same time. It's tough to do, though. I mean, no disrespect, of course. But yeah, let's go ahead and finish up with Shadow Walkers here. They're a little bit of an interesting one, as I mentioned. Now, only available to the Nagarite subfaction, so you're locked into the classiest color scheme that the High Elves can get. Their most, I guess, direct comparison in terms of cost is Way Watchers. Now, of course, they are not as good as Way Watchers, clearly, considering they technically deal more damage, but armor piercing is way different. Way Watchers do 20 armor piercing damage per shot, and they're insanely accurate. The Shadow Warriors are also pretty accurate. They've got poison, but they don't deal AP damage, which is a pretty big deal. 5 AP per shot's pretty decent, on par with like crossbows. But still, 22 non-AP damage is a lot of non-AP damage. They deal, what is it, just more missile damage overall? Faster reload rate. No, just more missile damage overall than the regular Shadow Warriors. Does that makes up for the extra 15 models? I mean, I guess distribute out that 5 damage to 45 models. Maybe it does. The poison, of course, as I mentioned, is a pretty big deal. But the fact that they're so squishy and that they don't have the armor-piercing damage of Way Watchers means they're just a little bit less common of a pick. They do technically, the Shadow Walkers here. I pull them back up. They do have slightly less HP as well, martial prowess, but they don't have Woodsman, interestingly enough. Which maybe seems like a little bit of an oversight by CA not to add it to them when they added the Woodsman effect to the game. Regardless, they are here. You definitely can use them, and with armor sundering abilities like the fact that he brought Heavens, of course does have a little bit of armor sundering in that Curse of the Midnight Wind, if I can find it. Curse of the Midnight Wind gives negative 30 armor, right? Minus 30 armor and melee attacks, so you can use that to help sunder armor a little bit. You can use Lore of Metal, of course, Lore of Shadows, Lore of Death, all have armor sundering abilities you can use in tandem with these Shadow Walkers to make them just punch a little bit above and basically be like discount Way Watchers, more or less. It actually ends up working out okay, believe it or not. But yeah, fun stuff. Yeah, I don't really have a lot else to say about Shadow Warriors. It's a fun pick, and definitely something you should consider, especially now that Nagarite has access to all these generic caster lords. You've really got the pick of whatever you want. If you want to take like let's say Beastcaster, maybe up on a Eagle to summon Manticores and to do Flock of Doom, and then maybe you just have only Lore of Metal on foot or something with just literally just Plague of Rust for the archers or something. I don't know. Or obviously take Plague of Rust with your Archmage. Whatever you want to do. The options are a little more open now with these Archmage Caster Lords. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.